Jackson State or Grambling State? Which band won the Las Vegas HBCU Classic Halftime Show 2025? Let's go ahead and check that out right now. What's up everyone, JB the Bandit here, and as explained in the intro, we're going to be taking a look at the Las Vegas HBCU Classic halftime show between Jackson State and Grambling State. Credit once again goes to ShowTime Web. The link to the original clip will be in the description below. Now, previously we've seen the fifth quarter between these two, and I got that at a tie because that was a good fifth quarter. Yeah, that was a really good fifth quarter because we already know what happened in that. But that's why I got that as a tie. If y'all want to see that, I'll leave a link in the description below along with the clips to both these bands' halftime shows in the description. So like I said, I got the fifth quarter being at a tie, and this was, like I said in that video, this is the first halftime show battle we're gonna be taking a look at. As I was originally supposed to react to the National Battle Band's field shows before, but we never really reacted to that. We're probably gonna react to them still after the season's over with, because we still got a lot of stuff we gotta cover from this past weekend. I'll mention that at the end of the video, but alright, so first up we've got Grambling State's halftime show. They was the first band to perform. Let's go ahead and check it out and see what they did right now. That's that off the wall side, huh? Okay, bass, I hear ya. Okay, represent. play that in the 5th quarter against Prairie View. Okay, Arkansas.
Okay. Oh yeah, you definitely got the crowd engaged with this.
Oh, they copying JSU's thing. Oh, they did the JSU rock the house. Okay. I think that's it, huh? Yeah, that's gotta be it. Wait till they end up playing. All right. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Great job, Grambling. Yeah. Yeah. Great job. Yeah. Y'all give them a round of applause, man. Yeah. Way to represent Grambling State University in Las Vegas, man. Y'all did a great job. But we got one more show to look at. I'm gonna tally up the scores that I'm gonna say for later in the video, and then we'll explain them after JSU. So next up we've got Jackson State, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump into that right now. Alrighty then, so next up we have Jackson State University, the sonic boom of the South. Previously we've seen the world fame of Grambling State. Now let's talk about Jackson State. So let's go ahead and take a look at their show right now. Oh, I seen that. Gotta hold them legs on me, I do that, but okay, Tiger run on. Okay, that's a good one. I'm not too sure the bass drum was supposed to start right there. Right there. Look right there. Right here where my mouse is. I don't think that was supposed to be done, JSU. And there's a gap right there. Okay, Las Vegas. Okay. Okay, they did the dance. Is that boots on the ground? Okay. Who the smoothest? Okay. Macarena, okay.
And now, we want every single person in this stadium on your feet. It's time to rush your best
Okay. I don't think that's the end of it though. Nah, we got a little bit longer. Yeah, we got a little bit longer. This is not the end of the halftime show yet. There you go. I knew we got a little bit. Alright, let's see. Okay, we're gonna end it right here. There you go. Yeah, so, yeah. Jackson State, y'all did a good job. Give them a round of applause as well, because they just, that's why I didn't say nothing. I knew it was I didn't say nothing, but yeah, they had some issues on the field, though. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie. We gonna recap it though. As soon as I get done getting these scores together, we gonna recap it and just show y'all why. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut to the final scores right now. Alrighty then, so that is the Las Vegas HBCU Classic halftime show battle between Jackson State Sonic Boom in the South and Grambling State World Famed Tiger Marching Band. Now, yeah, so kudos to both of the bands. They both put on in this classic, because I'm not gonna lie. Like I said in that 5th quarter video between these two, this is a very good opportunity for recruitment and exposure, not only for just these two schools, but also HBCUs as a whole, because you don't get a lot of HBCUs that get exposed, get a lot of exposure out in cities like Las Vegas and California and vice versa. You know, this is a good opportunity for both Jackson State and Grambling, and also other HBCUs that may follow down the lines. Maybe Southern, maybe Texas Southern, maybe Alcorn, who knows? But any of the HBCU really that comes down to play a football game in Las Vegas in this classic. So yeah, so that's enough about that. Let's get on to these scores now. Now here's the scores I got for Grambling State, the world fame. I got them at an average grade of 9.5 out of 10, which is an A. And for Jackson State, the Sonic Boom in the South, I got them at a 9.1 out of 10, which is an A minus. So, and here's the reasons why. So, I'm put the charts up so y'all can see for yourselves as well. So, for the reason why I said Grambling is a 9.5 out of 10, which is an A, their total score came out to be 47.5 out of 50, which is across all categories, because each category was graded out of 10, and they got theirs as well. So they got the categories based on how well they perform. So sound wise, it was a 9 out of 10. They could have played out just a little bit, but it was enough to get the job done, and that's why I gave it a 9 out of 10. Marching wise, they was a 9.5, so they perfectly executed. Could have gave it just a little bit more energy on the field, on marching, like picking up the legs and all that. But other than that, it was still a great one. Had the marching would have been a little bit more energetic, it would have been a 10 out of 10. That would have been S tier. Creativity and formation, could have gave it just a little bit more, but I did like the tribute to where you say Grand Fam on the field, and also yeah, the basic formations y'all did could have gave just a little bit more on that, but it turned out the way it did, and also yeah, that's what it is. Now the two best categories y'all had was song selections and crowd engagement. Y'all played some good songs in there. Y'all played some really good songs in the field show. That's why I got this one, got y'all at a 10 out of 10, which is an S tier on that. And crowd engagement was also S tier, because I heard the crowd get engaged with that. They also, yeah, they was definitely engaged with the way y'all engaged them near the end of the show as well. So everybody enjoyed that. And also, yeah, that was also S tier. So the total score being 47.5 out of 50, or 47.5 out of 50, and the average grade being a 9.5 out of 10, which was an A. So that's why I got that. And for Jackson State, well, I got them at a 9.1 out of 10, which is an A minus. Their sound, well, some of these categories they've beat Grambling in. So the categories they beat them in were sound, creativity, formation, and song selection. I'm not gonna lie, yeah, those are the only three categories that they beat them in, but they were very close categories for both of these bands. That's why I say it was a close category. But yeah, so that's why I got the sound was a 9.5 out of 10. They sounded just a little bit more clear, but Grambling was still clear. It's just a little bit more clear for Jackson State. That's why the sound was a 9.5 out of 10. Yeah, so that was basically it there. But yeah, so, and also another category they beat them in was creativity and formation. They did more formations than Grambling did, but that was I like the creativity behind it. That's why y'all got the slight edge in that category over Grambling. And song selections, y'all played some real good song selections. I think most of those were basically classics. Most of those were classics, and yeah, everybody knew what they were. And also y'all engaged them, and then yeah, so we already know about that. But the two categories that really made a difference for y'all was between y'all winning and losing this was marching and not song selection, marching and crowd engagement. Yeah, yeah. So crowd engagement was a better category for y'all out of those two, because at least y'all did engage the crowd when y'all did those formations with the dances and stuff, and the tribute to Las Vegas. Yeah, y'all did that, and also, yeah. But the real kicker here was the marching. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I saw some issues on the field, Jackson State. No wonder why. I think that's the reason why they ranking y'all kind of like below top 5 in the rankings for the ESPN Band of the Year poll. Even though y'all not competing in that anymore as far as this year, but yeah, y'all marching. It was good enough, but especially the part where I think it was where the bass drums kind of stepped on the 50-yard line. I don't know if that was planned or not, but for any of y'all that might, y'all can disagree and say that was planned. I don't know that, because when they turned, that there was a gap right there, and I don't know if that was planned for the transition to the Las Vegas formation. But regardless, y'all gotta do a little bit better than that. Like, unless otherwise stated, that's all I gotta say. And also some other minor issues before y'all did the Tiger run on it in the end zone. Y'all had to some of y'all was not holding y'all legs up like the rest of the band. I did catch them at the end. I mean, when I go back and edit this, I'm gonna see the issues that I've caught in there near the end zone. But yeah. But yeah, that's why I got that at a 7.5 out of 10. So yeah, that was I think that was the lowest category for y'all. So the best category was song selections, but yeah. So total score I got out of that was 45 and a half out of 50. So 45.5 out of 50, which is a result of 9.1 out of 10, which is an A-. So yeah, so y'all can disagree. Therefore, the proof is right there. Therefore, this halftime battle gonna have to go to Grambling State. Yeah, Grambling State clearly won the halftime show. Yeah, we already know that. So, yeah, so that's basically my opinion. Y'all can disagree with me and say Jackson State won this, but at least for me, from what I saw, Grambling had the better halftime show. At least in my opinion. So that's why I got Grambling winning this one. But both bands really did good. They really did good. Neither band was S tier, but Grambling was closer to S tier than Jackson State was. At least for me on the field. But yeah, that's just my opinion. Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say. Some of y'all might agree that Grambling won, and some of y'all might disagree and say Jackson State won. Some of y'all might say this was a tie. Who knows? But all in all, I got Grambling winning this halftime show. So if y'all want to disagree, go ahead. Do it respectfully though, because I did see a lot of people on some of these other reactors pages try to disagree and just be all mad and stuff. But yeah. But all I gotta say is, both bands put on a good show, but Grambling ended up winning the halftime show at the end of the day. At least for me. Some of y'all might disagree. Your opinion may be different than mine. Who knows? But yeah. But that's all I gotta say about this halftime show. Kudos to both the bands once again. They put on for Vegas, and that's like I said, this was a good opportunity, or a great opportunity for both recruitment and exposure, not just for these two schools, but for the whole HBCU culture. So yeah, once again, I'm JV the Bandhead, and peace out.